Originally released on Steam in 2022, Kraino Origins is a 2D action platformer that's now making its way to the Nintendo Switch. While Kraino's name sounds dangerously close to a chemical used to clear your shower's drainage system, this is a lovely little title if you're a fan of retro NES-style gameplay. As you might have guessed, that means you can expect to die, and die often, though while challenging, this game also feels pretty well balanced and mostly fair. You'll take control of a resurrected Kraino who lives in a faraway land. No, literally, the game says it's a faraway land. Kraino is on a quest to stop the evil Dr. 𝐸𝐸𝐿 and his army of monsters, which means surviving 8 deadly levels full of traps, enemies, and bosses, though there are also some challenge rooms along the way, which really makes Kraino Origins feel like it has more levels than are advertised, but they do net cool rewards as well if you can survive them. These particular rooms are very challenging because there are no checkpoints. Thankfully, however, if you're not up for that steep level of challenge or difficulty spike, they are optional. I recommend them though, because I'm crazy. Using your trusty scythe, you'll slash your way through ghostly ghouls while avoiding lava pits and other deadly contraptions, relying heavily on both your combat skills and platforming abilities. Kraino can slash in many directions, acquire new secondary weapons, and spend cash collected off of enemies on further upgrades such as the Super Fireball or axes that will freeze your foes. It's a fairly standard format for this genre, but hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Platforming in this title works pretty well throughout, with the combat system also faring quite well. Kraino Origins felt like a nice mix of classics like Castlevania or Ghouls and Ghosts, and I was even reminded a bit of NES DuckTales in the way you can repeatedly bounce off of enemies' heads. Level design is also solid, with plenty of challenge, but also enough checkpoints where you won't be pulling your hair out entirely. Well, actually, you might do that regardless, because I died, and I died a lot in this game. This isn't helped by a bounce back that can lead to certain doom, but you won't have to worry about lives so much, and the only real punishment for death is dropping gold you've collected, which can be retrieved again wherever you die. In the end, if you've ever played pretty much any 2D platformer on the NES, or one of the many indies inspired by that console, you'll know what you're getting into here with very few surprises. Visuals in Kraino Origins are pretty nice, with lovely pixel art in a gothic setting. I'm a sucker for the spooky stuff, with Halloween being my favorite time of the year, so naturally I enjoyed the artistic direction chosen here. Animations are nice, backgrounds get a bit similar to one another, but have decent variety, and enemy and boss designs might not be the most original I've seen, but they fit the atmosphere of the game quite well. So overall, it's a nice graphical presentation, but unfortunately the soundtrack didn't really do much for me. Chiptune music is great, some of my favorite soundtracks are chiptune, but unfortunately here, I just couldn't get into any of these tracks. The melodies aren't there, they just sound really irritating, not gonna lie. At least the sound effects are more in tune with what you'd expect out of this genre, but still, this just wasn't my favorite retro soundtrack. Kraino Origins is basically comfort food. It feels good to play, offers a steep but mostly fair challenge, and it ran just fine on the Nintendo Switch, whether playing handheld or docked. I'm not a big fan of the Switch D-pad or playing the console in handheld mode at all, honestly, but it functions just fine for those that have come accustomed to playing that way. No major crashes that I came across, so everything just seemed pretty good on a technical level. It's also a game that doesn't offer anything new, but it's successful at what it does, with a solid amount of secrets to be discovered, enjoyable level design, and good platforming mechanics. Yes, those rage moments will come, particularly with the bosses and those challenge rooms, but overall, while Kraino Origins won't raise the dead, it comes well recommended for fans of this genre.